3 years back, we need to pay for around 1000 to 2000 ringgit Malaysia for an entry-level custom mechanical keyboard. Let's take Tofu 65 by KB Defense as an example. With Tofu 65, we get a very minimal and simple looking aluminum custom keyboard. Within the kit, there will be an inclusion of a plate, a PCB, an external weight, and a set of foam to complete the build. In terms of the design, it's quite straightforward, nothing too fancy, etc, etc. But today, if I pay for the same amount of that Tofu 65, what I'll get is actually the same thing, which is an entry-level custom keyboard. In this case, the Jaris 80. But with a little extras on the side. An aesthetically pleasing case with a beautiful placed PVD strips and LED, a plate, choice of PCB that comes with a wide variety of options to choose from, whether it's a wireless or wired, the one with the flex cards or not, and at the same time I get to choose the thickness of the PCB itself. And I'm not done yet. There's also a well-designed internal and external weight included, and not forgetting some extras that include a screwdriver, an ultrasound keycaps, and a cord cable, and lastly a carrying case. In the end of 2023, this is what I'm getting if I'm purchasing an entry-level custom mechanical keyboard, sub 1000 ringgit, which is around $200. Okay, now you know about the bells and whistle, but how does it perform? Or in this case, how does it sound? And that is what we are about to find out. Although with no foam configuration, this Jaris 80 still produces that warm and crisp sound. And I just love the raw sounding of the switch with no foam configuration. It sounded full no matter what configuration I throw at it. Now that we know how the keyboard sounds like, let's take a close look at the keyboard itself. This Jaris 80 sports a TKL layout keyboard and it is designed by Iris Lab. This keyboard will be sold in a group buy format. It will go live on 28th of November until 10th of December 2023. Means that the group buy is live by the time this video is uploaded. And the pricing for this Jaris 80 starts from around 700 ringgit Malaysia, which is roughly around $160. The one that I have with me is the WKL in dark green colorway. I'm not gonna lie, the design of this keyboard is by far the most beautiful keyboard I have in my inventory. Well, my inventory consists of 2 to 3 keyboards, so yeah. And on the side note, apart from this dark green, there will be 17 different colors to choose from. The top part of the case sports these PVD strips which comes in a variety of options, and LED diffuser next to it. No LCD, no badge or even a knob on this one. The inner section of the case have this internal weight that is made of brass. Apart from that, there's a compartment under the weight which is enough to fit 2 batteries underneath. The addition of this internal weight will add some weight to the keyboard and make it more rigid, plus further reducing the hollowness coming out from the board. The Jaris 80 is using the same screwless design as the Jaris 75. Due to my curiosity, I did the shake test just to see how strong is the locking mechanism used on the case. Oh well, after seeing the clip, looks like I'm clearly overdue the shake part. This dumbbell looking thing right here is made from silicone and it is a gasket. It is mounted on these 3 cutout plates on the PCB itself. And I can choose a different level of bounciness of this keyboard. It's either with a single silicone or in this case the softest, or 2 silicone, the middle, or I can go all the way to the hardest which I'll need to use all 3 silicone per this thing right here. This mounting will provide us with different option on which level of bounciness we want with our keyboard. And with the hardest configuration, the keyboard will still provide a decent bounce or that soft tapping feel. And of course, the result may vary depends on the selection of plates. Aluminum plates will provide the least amounts of flex, if you get what I mean. And another thing is, I found that the keyboard sounded the best when using the hardest configuration or when all 3 silicone gasket is used. And there you have it, the Jaris 80. Well, what are my final thoughts on this? Before I start, please bear in mind that this is my personal opinion only, and your mileage may vary. Here it goes. As I mentioned earlier, I really love the aesthetics of this keyboard. With the smooth texture finishing of the case, it's like an icing on the cake. Not to mention, the chamfer did add a premium feel to the keyboard. And the sounding of this keyboard is just great. No matter what configuration you are going for, the keyboard will still sound great. And the typing feel of this keyboard is a sweet spot. It's not too soft where it is too bouncy and shaking every time you hit a key, and it's not too stiff either. Okay, let's talk about the price. The price of this keyboard starts from 700 ringgit Malaysia or 160 US dollar, bare bone. My sample right here would cost me for 1000 ringgit Malaysia or 215 US dollar. On top of that, I still need to add a switch and a set of keycaps, not forgetting a set of stabilizer, because it's not included within the bare bone. It's not a deal breaker by any means, but I still need to buy additional steps to complete the build. And a good stabilizer here in Malaysia would cost us around 80 to 100 ringgit Malaysia. All in all, I need to spend roughly around 1500 ringgit or around 300 US dollar each to complete the build. So the question is, with the price range, is it really a true entry-level mechanical keyboard? It's hard to say, but don't get me wrong, I still think it's a good keyboard nonetheless. And this keyboard is perfect to those who want an upgrade for a plastic membrane keyboard or for non-premium mechanical keyboard. Well, I may be wrong, but there you go, it's just my opinion. And if you are looking for a TKL and a good sounding and premium looking keyboard, this is for you. And for Southeast Asia, luckily we have our own local vendor for this group buy, so we don't have to pay extra for shipping costs and etc. Head on to Reebok Keyboard for more info on this one. And that's it from me this time. See you in the next, and have a good one.